Here's a number that should bother you. 85% of freelancers get paid late. Not once, not by one bad client. At least some of the time, most of the people doing this work are chasing money they already earned. And about 1 in 5 get paid late, or never, more often than they actually get paid on time. So if you freelance and it feels like getting paid is the hardest part of the whole job, you are not bad at this. You are normal. The problem isn't you. It's the system almost everyone is using. So let's fix it. I'm going to show you 3 things. How bad the late payment problem really is, with actual data. Why it happens, which is almost never the reason you think. And exactly what the freelancers who always get paid do differently. None of it is complicated, and most of it you can set up this week. Stay to the end, and I'll show you the simplest way to put all of it in one place. Okay, how deep is the hole? A tool called Bonsai looked at over 100,000 freelancers and 3 years of invoices. 29% of those invoices got paid late. Almost a third. And it is not random. If you're a woman, 31% of your invoices come in late, against 24% for men. Same work, longer wait. Here's the one that gets me. The bigger the invoice, the longer they make you wait. An invoice over $20,000 is about 3 times more likely to be paid late than one under $100. So the projects that actually cover your rent are the ones most likely to leave you hanging. Now, some good news, because there is a little. When late invoices do land, most of them aren't that late. About 3/4 get paid within 2 weeks of the due date and 90% within a month. So most clients do pay eventually. The damage is in that last 10% who don't, and in all the weeks you spend not knowing which client is which, and it stacks up. One survey of thousands of US freelancers found the average person who gets stiffed loses close to $6,000 a year. That study is a few years old now, but ask anyone who freelances and it still rings true. In New York, 62% of freelancers have lost money to a client who simply refused to pay. Of those, 39% couldn't cover their rent or their bills because of it. That's the part nobody posts about. So why does it keep happening? Here's the thing that took me way too long to understand. Late payment is almost never about a client who's broke. It's about friction and doubt that you left sitting in the deal. Let me show you the 5 gaps. Gap 1. No contract, a handshake, and a friendly email thread. When nothing is in writing, nothing is actually due on any particular day, so later is always allowed. Gap 2. No deposit. If you carry all of the risk right to the end, the client has no money committed and no reason to hurry. Remember those big invoices that get paid late? This is why. Nothing is on the line for them. Gap 3. Vague scope. If done was never defined, the client can always decide it isn't done yet. And it's not finished is a very polite way to not pay you. Gap 4. No due date and no late fee on the invoice. Payable upon receipt means nothing. There's no date, so there's no deadline, and there's no cost to ignoring you. Paying you quietly slides to the bottom of the list. Every single time. Gap 5. You're chasing it over email. Just following up is the easiest message on earth to ignore. The self-employed lose around 20 days a year to chasing payments. 20 days. And then there's one that genuinely isn't your fault. Even when the client pays on time, the platform in the middle can sit on your money. Upwork holds fixed price funds for a 5-day security period before you can even withdraw them. A brand new payment account can wait a week or more for its first payout. So I paid you, and you actually have the money, can be 2 very different days. This got bad enough that California passed a law. Since the start of 2025, if a client pays a freelancer late on a written contract, they can be made to pay up to double. When your industry needs law to make people pay for work they already took, the problem is not you. All right. Here's the flip side. Everything the freelancers who always get paid do is just closing those same gaps in the same order. 1. Scope in writing. Every time before any work starts. It doesn't need to be 30 pages of legalese. A one-page, plain English agreement that says what you're doing, what it costs, and when it's due beats a fancy contract nobody reads. California made this the law for any job over $250, which tells you it's the floor, not a bonus. 2. Take a deposit. 30 to 50% up front is completely normal, and it changes the whole relationship. A client who has already paid you something is committed, and you're not funding their project out of your own bank account. 3. Put a real due date and a late fee on the invoice itself. Not upon receipt, an actual date, and a clear penalty if they miss it. In the UK, this is backed by law. You don't have to be aggressive about it. You just make paying on time the easy choice and paying late the expensive one. 4. Put the whole thing in one place. This is the big one. The agreement, the signature, and the payment button in a single flow. Every extra step, every let me email you the invoice separately, every jump between an app and a text message is one more place the money can stall. One link kills the I never got the invoice excuse for good. 5. And this is the one that actually protects your income. Get paid directly into your own account without a middleman taking a slice or sitting on it. Look at what the middle costs you. Fiverr keeps 20% of every order. Upwork takes up to 15% and holds your money first. Even PayPal charges almost 2% if you want your money now instead of in a few days. You did the work. A fifth of it should not vanish on the way to you. So how do you run all of this without turning into your own admin department? You want one place a client can land and see everything. The agreement to sign, the deposit to pay, the files when they're ready, the final invoice with a real date on it. All of it under your name, not spread across 5 different tools. When it's that clean for the client, they pay faster because there's nothing to dig for and nowhere to hide. And you want the money coming straight to you through your own payment setup so nobody takes a cut and nobody holds it for 2 weeks. That combination, one clean link plus direct payment, is the whole difference between the freelancers who chase and the ones who just get paid. That's the exact reason I built Delivo. It's one branded link you send a client. Behind it, they sign the contract, pay the deposit, download the files, and settle the final invoice, all in one place, with your name on it. And here's the part that matters most for this video. Delivo takes 0% of your payments. The money goes straight from your client to you, through your own Stripe or PayPal or whatever you already use. Delivo never touches it and never holds it. You get the clean, professional handoff, and you keep all of your money. Quick recap. Getting paid late is normal, but it is not random. It happens in the gaps. Put it in writing. Take a deposit. Print a real due date. Keep it all behind one link. And get paid directly. Do those 5 things and you stop being the person chasing money you already earned. If this helped, there's a link below to try Delivo for free. And do the one thing it took me far too long to start doing. Treat getting paid like part of the job, not an awkward thing you deal with afterwards. Thanks for watching.